Welcome to the show, Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network, from the world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate team. I haven't told that story yet. It's kind of a funny one. But anyways, I'm here with Rob Trigg of Jetlending. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. Glad to be back. A lot of things happening.
A lot of things happening. So you guys got a bit of an announcement.
We do. And I'm proud to announce we are going live with the Super Investor Meeting May 19th.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
We got a new home with plenty of parking.
I was talking to Eddie last night, and he's like, 2,000 parking spots.
2,000. That's just concrete. There's overflow parking, so hopefully we can get the whole parking lot full.
Wow, that'd be crazy.
The whole parking lot full. So there's no more walking from Walmart. It's at the Stampede of Houston.
Okay.
Guys, you got to RSVP right now. Don't miss this event. We'll get you a link. If you need any further information, you can always call us. Call me directly, 903-806-4400. We want to get these RSVPs in early so we know exactly who's coming. But I think everybody's going to be excited. The location, have you ever been to Stampede?
I've not been up there before.
Oh, man, it's awesome.
Yeah?
I'm telling you, it's awesome. As far as a country bar goes,
yeah.
it's pretty cool. And right next door, let's just say we grow. They've got an event center right next door that's more of a Latino theme.
Ooh.
And it's right next door. I mean, these are two huge establishments side by side.
Yeah, 2,000 parking spots. I mean, how big is that place?
It's huge.
It's huge, yeah.
Did you see the footage?
I saw the drone footage of the drone coming up.
Yeah.
But I didn't see inside.
Well, it pans the drone.
Oh, does it?
It pans to the parking lot. I mean, it's huge.
I know it's been a huge challenge for you guys to find a place to host this thing, right? Because there's just, when you start to get above, we do events too, and it's like, when you start to get above 250, 500 people, the number of venues, even in Houston, that can host that affordably, like, it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. That has parking is a nightmare.
The parking is probably our number one deciding factor on the location is this. It's got to have enough parking because, I mean, I'm telling you, you went to AC's event, right?
Which one? I'm trying to remember which one.
Last month at that, I can't remember, Prosperity.
Yeah,
you were there.
Oh, I was okay. I was like, I'm trying to remember. Was I there?
I mean, there's people at that event. That thing was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Prosperity event was huge, and everybody there was like, "When we going back? When
we
going back?"
Yeah.
And we're like, "We're working on it. So
I was at an event earlier this week. Great event, but parking's already a problem.
Yeah.
Like I had to park 3 blocks away on the street. I'm like, it's tough. Like I said, when you get above that 250, 300 people, it starts becoming a night, and nobody wants to spend a bunch of time. You want to park and get in the venue, right?
Yeah.
You know, even valet. When you have that many people, the valet gets overloaded, right? So it turns into kind of a mess.
Yeah.
So plenty of parking there.
Yeah, plenty. And the venue, I mean, it's a cool place to be. And hopefully, we're going to help them grow and help you grow, and it's gonna be great.
Yeah,
it's gonna be great.
Well, we are definitely in. We're sponsoring.
Yes.
So having some conversations with Eddie and them about what that looks like kind of going forward. But we're pumped up. We're excited, ready to go.
Oh yeah. Well, me and Alex went into panic mode yesterday because it was just like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, it's like, oh, the event's in 2 weeks.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
And trying to get that much data out and try to capture as much data and get it out to the masses, it kind of puts you on a little bit of a nervous tick.
Yeah. You got to get on your toes pretty quick.
So,
but it'll be packed.
Yeah.
You've been to a bunch of events so far. I've been to a bunch. They've all been very well attended.
Very well.
And it is always fascinating to see who survived Corona and who didn't.
Yes.
No, I don't mean physically. I mean, I'm just saying like whose business survived Corona and who didn't, right?
And like Prosperity event when we were there, there's some newbies, but the old crowd was there, and they were all like, hey, we're doing deals.
Yep.
And, but you predicted it. You said coronavirus is going to wash out the people that...
It's going to wash a lot of folks out.
And it did.
Yeah.
It did.
I was at another event last night, and I was chatting with a couple guys, commercial guy and a mortgage guy, and they said, what's been interesting is it's washed out in all these different real estate related businesses. It's washed out the BS. They're like, we're just grinding and doing deals, dude. It's not like it was before Corona where, there's like, we're trying to find some more business and we're bringing on new clients. It's like, dude, it is straight up grind and work and everybody's crushing it, right? Yeah. So it's like, it's really moving right now.
Yeah. And the great thing about it is that the tire kickers have gone away.
Yes.
Now I'm starting to see a little bit more of those tire kickers to come back. But I've got a great way of handling that, and you just tell them, hey, look, if you're not willing to put into work, it's not going to happen for you.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got in this industry, and Jason, I paid attention to a lot of things that you say over the years. If you're not putting in the work yourself, you're just like, what are you doing?
I've written this email, but I've not sent it out yet because I've seen a lot of stuff in the last couple of months. It's been kind of what I've seen before, and that is, if you're first 3 years in this business and you're taking 2 or 3 vacations and you're gone every other weekend and you're paying yourself a salary and it's like, you're not serious about this business. No. You've got to, it's that first 2 or 3 years, you are grinding, right? Now, it's not that's not bad. It's not painful, right? It's just, you got to work.
You got to.
You want to get rich, you got to work.
I mean, it amazes me. Like somebody called me the other day, and we've talked about this before. And he said, man, I'm really interested in this property. And I said, all right, hey, let me take a look at it. I'll let you know what we can lend on it. I called him back. I was like, have you been to this property? He's like, no, I'm just crushing the data. I was like, well, how do you even know you even want to flip this property? He's like, it's all about the data to me. I'm like, well, the data's important, but if you haven't walked it,
what's funny is you go, hey, bro, to get the rest of the data, you have to go look at the property.
Exactly. I mean, and he's a one-man show. I mean, you've got people that go and look at it for you, and send you photos and stuff and tell you. You've got people on your staff that can do that. But, I mean, when you're a one-man show, you can't just rely on pictures. You've got to go to the property. You've got to walk it. You got to feel it. You got to get your mind right about, okay, I've got to open this up. I may need to add a bathroom. I may need to do this. The comps are saying this. If I add a bathroom, I can get it up to here, or maybe add some square footage because that's the play in that area.
But this will shock folks. I put 25,000 miles a year on my truck. I still go look at property. Because now I don't go look at every single one. You just don't have time, right? But when we have some challenges that come up, I'll go out there and look at it and go, okay, guys, we need to do this, this, and this instead. You're driving property, so is Eddie. Eddie's going out there and looking at properties, right? So the whole idea that can you do this kind of armchair, sitting at home? I mean, you can, but you really do need to get out there, like you said. And a lot of times, I'll tell you one that's always a shocker to me. When you drive out there and you're like, you can look around on Google Maps, how close something is, there's a water plant, but until you get out there and you start walking it and looking around, you go, okay, now I got a better idea of what this neighborhood looks like, right? Yeah. So I see that all the time where it's like, I'll give you a great example. If you've got the next door neighbor, that's got a meth lab in it, and the other next door neighbor has, is breeding pit bulls and they're barking all the time, you go out there and go, no, we're going to pass on this one.
That's a great Airbnb.
Yeah, it's perfect Airbnb,
perfect
right?
Airbnb.
Yeah. So, but you're not going to get that
you
from
got entertainment.
That's right, and security.
And security.
Yeah, got entertainment and security on both sides. But you won't get that feel until you go out there and actually look at it, right? So, I think it's critical that you go out and drive these things. You put some what I call eyeballs. You put some eyeballs on it, and see if it's a deal that's worth doing.
Yeah. So, I mean, like you said though, a lot of these guys have washed out, the tire kickers, but I'm encouraging people to, if you're new to this game, get you a mentor.
Oh yeah,
mentors are great.
Yeah,
y'all provide a little bit of mentor, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, when we get back from the break, we'll talk more with Rob Trigg of Jetlending. It's Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Welcome back, Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. I'm here with Rob Trigg. We're talking about super investor meetings, stuff that's going on in the marketplace. I will tell you this, Rob. And you guys see it too because you guys are on the front lines of this. These houses are appreciating so fast, it's ridiculous.
Price of lumber's gone up, ridiculous.
I saw some notes from an earnings call yesterday. So a lot of these companies have come out. This is earnings. So Q1 earnings season is upon us, meaning companies start to report what their earnings were. We're seeing share prices change and all that. And the number one concern in all these earnings report was inflation.
Yeah.
The cost of raw materials and in some cases labor is going up. So what does that impact to and I'll give you a great example. So Ford came out and said, we're not going to be able to sell as many cars because we can't get the chips. Like that's becoming a huge problem.
You know, I talked to a buddy of mine about 3 weeks ago. He used to work at a Ford dealership, and I called him. And a friend needed a favor, tried to find him a vehicle, and me and him have been friends. He sold me a bunch of vehicles, and he said the same thing. Mm-hmm. He said the chips, they can't get them imported.
Yeah,
and I'm like, what? He's like, dude, it's affecting us big time.
I'm seeing. I've been shopping for. You got your vet, so I've been shopping for a little toy for a while here. Yeah. And before Corona, I was really, really close to pulling the trigger on a car. I mean, I got real close. I'm supposed to go on a test drive today if I get time. But the price of that car went up 25%.
Oh wow!
In the last year.
Oh. So
we're seeing it not only in real estate, but we're also seeing it in other, even luxury goods, right? Mm-hmm. Like, higher end sports cars. So we're seeing prices on stuff just going up and up and up. And so now you're sitting here, I'm in a bunch of car groups on Facebook, and all these guys are talking about it. And I'm like, well, do I just pull the trigger on it now because it's going to be 25% more expensive in a year? I mean, it's like, do you wait? I mean, I don't know.
I'm kind of happy it's going up.
Well, yeah, because you got yours, right? So, so it's interesting. It's like, do you pull the trigger on it now? I was getting my truck worked on. I was at a Toyota dealership, the big one off of I-10, and I was amazed how few. Their lot was almost empty, and I bet they could put 200 or 300 cars in that lot, and they were just. And I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, oh, it's this. We're having all these supply chain shortages.
What bewilders me is that. Is there a lumber shortage? I mean, what is causing this?
My understanding, and I talked to a lumber guy. There's actually a lumber guy I follow on YouTube of all things. He does these videos in his car like I used to do, but he's really good. And it has to do with, my understanding, it has to do with the lumber mills in Canada. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of wood. There's just not enough mills to produce it. So that's what's causing the supply chain shortages. Allegedly. I was chatting with my guys. I've got a Land Cruiser, and they're working on my Land Cruiser. And he claims, and he goes, this sounds like total BS, but he said, this is what's going on. The increase in gasoline prices we're seeing is because there's not enough truck drivers.
I saw that too.
And I was like,
there's not enough qualified truck drivers for that type. I will say this, from my time in the military, you do have to have certain certifications.
Oh, absolutely.
To carry, fuel.
Yeah.
So that it may be true.
Yeah.
It may be true. Now I talked to a buddy of mine yesterday. He lives up north. He does some investing. He said, "Well, Rob, there's only 4 major families that control all of the lumber companies." Mm-hmm. And he said, "I don't think it's a shortage. I think they've gotten together and they figured it out."
Yeah.
He said, "Well, we can charge a little bit more."
Yeah.
So
I'll never forget. I was sitting in a meeting and somebody said, "Oh yeah, we're going to do this roof for $2,800." And I was just kind of, in a lot of these meetings, I'm kind of like half listening. Anyway, so somebody said, "Oh yeah, that's just for the decking." And I was like, "What?"
Whoa.
$2,800, and it was a partial. I'm like, $2,800 just for the decking?
Woo.
And I'm like, you got to be kidding.
Rough.
Yeah, and we are at the top tier pricing for Home Depot. Like nobody gets it cheaper than us. And so it's like, whoa, that was crazy. My Land Cruiser guys are telling me, they've already told me, like, I'm putting in a disc brake kit, and the parts went from $750 to $1,100 in the last couple of months. Mm-hmm. So he's like, and he said, here's the problem. Even if you can get some of the parts, that's becoming an issue. Had the window guy over at my personal house because we're rehabbing that right now.
Looks good though.
Oh man, it's gonna be
great.
So great. We're gonna have a huge party there. It's gonna be awesome.
I'll be there.
Yeah, everyone's gonna be there. It's gonna be great. So he told me, window guy was there. So I met the window guy out there, and I said, "Hey man, so can you give me a ballpark?" And he said, "Look, I can't even give Mr. Texas a ballpark price." He said, "Prices have gone up 8 to 10% in the last week." So he said, "I won't know till I put the order in." And I'm like, "Geez." So it's across the board, price. And he actually builds windows. He builds windows on site. So these aren't like, the Anderson windows, they slap the things in there. Like he buys the raw materials and then custom makes them for what you want. So I'm like, okay, man, just let me know.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
but I mean, despite all that, even the prices skyrocketing is driving up the cost of houses. Mm-hmm. I just did a testimonial with one of my and inventory with one of my Ehab, right?
Yeah, I know Ehab.
One of his mentees just closed on his first deal, made $73,000.
Jeez, that's pretty sweet. Flip, huh?
Yeah, flip.
Yeah.
First flip, $73,000.
And now you're like, oh yeah, it's always like this. You're like, not usually always like that. But
Well,
it's a nice first one out the gate. Right?
It's a great success story for him. And he was so happy. But anybody can do that if they pay attention to the plan. And you got to have a team around you. You got to have all those things lined up. He killed it. He killed it. So.
Yeah, it's and along with the material shortages, you're having labor shortages too. So you're having to deal with some challenges in this marketplace that you wouldn't normally deal with. I had an interesting conversation with a guy. Was that Monday? And he said they're now new construction. Mm-hmm. So if you go into a new home development, they're taking bids, they're taking offers on the lot. So it's not like, hey, this house over here is $325,000, and you pick out a lot, that sort of thing. It's like what they have available. Like, oh, you make an offer. Oh, so you want 360? How about 380? Like they're literally like auctioning off
the lot.
New construction houses and essentially starting at the lot level.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's getting crazy, and people keep telling me like, Jason, there's going to be a correction. I'm like, where? There's no inventory. That's the problem.
Well, I've got a theory about this. I don't think interest rates are going to stay as low. I think they're going to have to go back up eventually, and that's going to drive inventory down.
Yeah, I don't. We've got.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I keep looking at the data, and the Fed is just. I don't think they're going to allow it. They're just not going to allow it. The forbearances are interesting. If all of the houses that are in forbearance went to foreclosure, we'd still be short 1 million houses this year.
I know. Inventory's crazy right now.
It's absolutely insane. Obviously, it hasn't affected y'all's business any, and it hadn't affected us any at all. I think we contracted 5 last week. So,
and speaking, we'll talk more about this, but Jet Team 1 closed 18 loans last month.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Loans. Yeah, no slowdown there, guys.
None.
Yeah,
no slow. I'm just like, I thought I was busy, but when you add another aspect and you're able to, 2 people are marketing for one team and 2 people are talking to, she speaks Spanish. She's going on Spanish speaking shows. I'm doing radio shows. The amount of volume that it increased overnight.
Yeah. Well, more marketing, more sales means more business. If you're doing it right.
If you're doing it right.
If you're doing it right. I see a lot of businesses that sat on their laurels during COVID that weren't doing their marketing, that weren't doing their sales, and now they're suffering. So you go when times get tough, you go in and you go hard.
Yeah.
That should be the lesson here. All right, when we get back from the break, we'll talk more with Rob Trigg of Jetlending's Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Welcome back, Jason Bible. I'm here with Rob Trigg, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. We're talking a little real estate today, a little real estate finance. You guys have the same mentality we did that when, the world got shut down, it was like, we aren't stopping.
Nope.
In fact, we're going to double down, and we're just going to keep pushing.
We did.
And I think that should be the lesson to everybody. I had a phone call from a buddy of mine this morning, and I was out at an event last night. Some kind of crazy happened at the event last night that I hadn't experienced before. And I called Rob and I said, it's crazy how big we've gotten. And I was chatting with this guy this morning, and he said, you guys did do your daily radio show, and you did a market update every day at noon for 4 months straight. And he said everybody was watching. While everybody else was sitting and waiting and, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? The world's going to end. You guys were just working, just going and going and going. You guys were too, because we were buying stuff with y'all and
kept going to work every day.
Yeah, just kept going.
Got COVID, couldn't wait to get back to the office. Me and Eddie talked about it the other day. I was like, we were talking about, the level of commitment that it takes to get deals done and to be a loan officer at Jetlending, the level of commitment it takes, it's almost like, hey, family time, you've got to schedule that.
Right, yeah.
You know, because everything else to have that family time takes precedence.
Yeah.
But my wife and me, we're very good at scheduling stuff, and the weekends now are, hey, she goes and does something, I'll go do something, like go to the gym or something. But then every night we come together, watch a movie, do something. You know, it's the quality time, not the quantity. You know,
it's funny. Jordan Peterson says, you know what a real marriage is? A marriage is just not. It's not all day. It's the 30 minutes to an hour in the morning and the hour or two in the evening. That's really what happens. That's the dynamic of a real marriage.
Yeah.
And a lot of people miss that. It's like you've got life outside of that house, right?
Yeah.
90% of your time is really outside that house. So it's an interesting dynamic in that you've got to be mature and say, all right, we got to spend this time together and do this. And, you know, some days are better than others.
Some days are.
But you get enough of them. They're pretty decent.
Well, I mean, I will say this: we've been married 3 years, April 1st, and every day is, you know, she keeps me on my toes, but she also keeps me on the straight and narrow. And getting back to what we were talking about, but the level of commitment and doubling down during COVID, the whole year it was just push. You know, we're gonna do it better than everybody else because we know what it's gonna take.
Right. Yeah.
So
it's something
successful.
Elon Musk had said, and this was the reason I went full-time real estate back in 2013, was that if you can do something part-time, you're only learning at 20 hours a week. If you drop everything, you're going to learn at 60 to 80 hours a week. Well, if this doesn't work out for you, you're going to know real quick.
Yeah.
Right? Or if it does work out, your competition's only working 40 hours a week, you're working 60 or 80, you're literally running around them, right?
Circles.
Literally circles around them. And I think it's what a lot of people missed during COVID. We're still working, we were making offers, we were doing construction, we were doing all that stuff, and everyone's sitting there going, oh, aren't you guys scared? I'm like, no, because this will end at some point. Could be a year, could be 2 years from now. And then everyone's going to look back and go, holy cow, we should have been working.
Yeah, and the light is at the end of the tunnel now.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, we're getting to the home stretch here.
I mean, you're probably in the 8th inning. Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah,
with this COVID thing, I saw a statistic last night: 250 million people vaccinated. You know, I plan on getting vaccinated. My wife's like, not until we get pregnant.
Oh yeah,
we're trying for number 2 right now.
Yeah.
I must be out of my mind. I'm about to turn 45 years old and trying for number 2. And she's like, one more, and then I was like, it's okay. I'll be an old man, you know.
Yeah, that's fine.
They get married. I'll be, 70-something years old.
That's fine. That's fine, dude. They found the fountain of youth for men. It's just testosterone replacement therapy. You'll be just fine.
Oh, love that stuff.
I'm on. I absolutely love it. I'm like, I feel like I'm 25 again.
Where do you go?
Well, they just send it to me, and I just do the injections at the house.
Yeah, I do too. But who's your doctor?
Low T Center off of I-10. Oh, you got somebody better?
It's going to be a drive.
Oh yeah.
He's in Paris, Texas. Nope, he's in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, is this Doctor? What's his name? Yeah,
Jordan
I've heard
Grant.
about him.
I'm telling you right now, you got to stop low T.
Yeah,
you've got to stop low T center.
Interesting.
They're killing you and you don't even know it.
That's not good.
Are you doing one shot a week?
Yeah, every 4 days. Nope.
No, you need to go see him.
Okay,
trust me.
I heard he does somebody had sent, maybe it was Alex, sent me his show, and he's like, dude, you got to get this guy on the show. He's incredible.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Okay.
So we'll talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
So Alex, for a year, stop going to low T center. Stop going to low T center. Stop going to low. I'm like, I like low T. They're very nice, very, customer service friendly, but literally one injection a week, and I'd have ups and downs. So I said, fine, I'll go see Dr. Jordan.
Yeah.
I drove all the way up there on a Thursday. Rained the whole way. And I'm like, 5 hours for this. So I sit down. We sat down for 45 minutes. I was 235 pounds when I walked in his office. Today, this morning, I'm 193 pounds.
Jeez. Same workout and everything else?
Same workout, same everything. He broke it down. He said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to change your diet. We're going to change how we do the injections. We're going to add some stuff. Of course, I'm trying to get pregnant. We're trying to get pregnant. So
so you got to take some other stuff.
He said, we're going to add some stuff temporarily until you get pregnant. Literally amazing.
Really?
And he ships everything to your house. Same thing.
I can tell you right now, when I got on this stuff, I'm like a totally different dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm working out. I can do 2 a days like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing. And I've leaned out, too, just like you have. It's like, it's so... That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you can have kids and be like a dad in your 70s because you're,
Yeah, I got the fountain of youth.
Yeah.
It works.
That's the fountain. It's amazing. We're going to do a whole show on men's health.
Let's do it.
It's going to be fantastic. Because if I had known this years ago, because here was the deal. I was tired all the time, but I thought it was just because I was an animal and I worked all the time, right? And then finally I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to have them do a full blood panel. And they were like, everything looks good, but this is the one issue like you're going to want to fix. I'm like, okay. Inside of a week, I'm back in the gym and I feel like amazing, right? So
it is amazing stuff, but I was going low T for years.
Yeah.
And I've told, again, they're a great establishment. I'm not going to say anything bad about them. But in my opinion, he's far better.
Well, he's a whole different breed. That dude's a whole different.
He looks like Thor.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Thor with short hair.
Yeah.
And no beard.
He's an older guy.
I mean,
No,
he's
I thought he was an older
age.
guy. Is he?
His arms are like bigger than Arnold's, and I'm like, and it's funny how everybody compares, arms to Arnold.
Yeah.
He's just freaking leaned out, cut. He's like, I'm telling you, in a year, if you'll follow my plan, you can look exactly like this. And
it's amazing because it's here. I'm convinced. We'll talk a little more health stuff. Then next break we'll talk a little real estate. But I am convinced that weight loss and health and fitness has everything to do with hormones.
It does.
Like calories in, calories out. Yeah. But it's really the hormone management, which is really what TRT is, right? So.
Yeah. When you get older, you lose that, and most people don't even know it,
right?
Because they're uneducated about it, and it's the natural decline of your body.
That's right.
You get up in your 40s, it starts to decline very rapidly. When you're in your 50s, you may not even have any, and that's where the beer bellies and everybody's, oh, my metabolism slowed down. No, your metabolism really hasn't slowed down.
It hasn't changed much. Yeah,
your hormones have slowed everything down.
Yeah, I think this is what everybody misses. Our bodies were designed over a millennia or two of evolution, for 10,000 years, right? This whole modern life, like we're not supposed to live in our 50s and 60s. No. Like our life expectancy exploded over the last couple hundred years. So the body still hasn't caught up with that. So they think your testosterone drops because it's like, all right, time for you to go get eaten by a saber-toothed tiger, right? Like the old man gets eaten. So, but that doesn't happen anymore. We live so long. So, all right, when we get back from the break, we'll talk more with Rob Trigg. It's Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Welcome back, Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. I'm here with Rob Trigg of Jetlending. Talking a little men's health, talking a little real estate.
Yes, we are.
It's been a good year. I think when you go back and look, it was kind of a mess around this time last year, but I'm like, it's all turning out. You keep working.
Keep working. Keep driving. Keep pushing. Me and my wife, we've done a little rehab on our house, and I will tell you this has been the most pleasant experience I've had doing what we did. So, Lennar, great builder. I don't know if you're familiar with them. And, but they designed the house a little bit crooked. Okay. They put their your storage in the wrong place. So we put it over the garage, and she's been begging me ever since. She's like, I need a place to put my elliptical and stuff like that. Yeah. She's like, can we convert this? And I'm like, okay, great. We'll do it. Finally got a little bit of extra money. We'll do it. So I finally pulled the trigger. I'm going to tell you something about Tradition Plumbing.
Yeah.
They're one of our vendors.
Okay.
And typically, I don't really pay attention to our vendors that much because I never need to use them.
Right? Yeah, unless you're flipping a house.
Unless I'm flipping a house. I love all of our vendors. I've never needed to use them. So I don't pay attention. I called Ted up and his staff. Amazing. Literally came out to my house, saw some stuff that was done that I had personally done. They said, we're going to fix that for free.
Oh, cool.
I'm like, what? I was like, that's not what I got you here for.
Yeah.
They're like, no, don't worry about it. We're going to fix it for free. So in this space, we had 2 hot water heaters, big 40-gallon, right? Mm-hmm. And for almost 6 months, I was like, how are we going to, get this to where we can maximize space? Mm-hmm. They came out there, they looked at it and said, just go tankless.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I was like, okay.
Yep.
They said, build us a wall right here. We'll put the tankless on, reroute everything. Gave me a huge discount on it. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you right now, guys, Tradition Plumbing is the way to go.
What when they went with it, they just go with one big tankless?
One big tankless and got rid of it. Literally, we measured it out. It was like 50 square feet.
Oh, yeah. The hot water heaters are gigantic.
Yes.
Over at the house I'm rehabbing now that I'm going to live in, it's only a 1,200 square foot house. So I got this tankless water heater in there. It's way too big for the house, but I'm like, it will get to 140 degrees in about 2 seconds, right?
Just like, I mean, you put it on a timer and it's got an app on it.
Yeah.
This one's got an app on it. I'm like, now my water's digital.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
You put it on a timer, like from 6 to 8 in the morning, like when everybody's taking showers, instant hot water. You don't have to wait at all. It's just like, and you better be careful because you'll burn yourself.
It's great. Those are the best kind, right?
It's like, I was so amazed. And their customer service, excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I'm on my pool. I'm relocating, pool equipment replacement. I'm rehabbing a pool. If you guys, now I've done, I don't know, we had 2,000 yet. I don't know. It's a ton of houses, right? So well over 1,000.
Yeah.
I've only ever had to rehab one pool, and it didn't go well. So, and what I found about rehabbing pools is you either bury them or you do everything.
Oh, yeah.
Like just resurfacing doesn't do it.
Yeah, you got to do the coping.
Oh, you got to do everything. Yeah.
All that stuff.
Because what ends up happening is you do just like, let's say you go in and just resurface it. It still looks like a 30-year-old pool. Mm-hmm. So then you're trying to compare pool comps to pool comps. You can't. A lot of people don't know that. So if all your comps have more modern pools in them, but your subject property has like a 30-year-old pool, I just kick the pool value out.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really matter. So anyways, I'm doing a full pool rehab, and I'm relocating all the equipment and everything to the side of the house. Yeah. And then we're upgrading to one of those digital controllers so I can turn lights on, the hot tub on, all that stuff on.
I've got that in my house.
Dude, I can't
love
wait.
Love it.
I can't wait. The pool I had before, the house I was at before, it was all, you have to go out there and, change the valves and turn the heater on. And this guy's like, no, man, it's all going to go into one control board, and you'll be able to run everything from your phone. I'm like, this is going to be great.
Can be at the gym, and let's just say it's a little cool outside and you want to get in a hot tub, kind of relax. Be at the gym, boom, hit a button. It'll be ready and hot by the time you get to your house.
That's so great. Yeah. And, when I look back, I'm like, who thought when we were kids this would be the kind of life that you live, right?
I know, right?
It's like, yeah, I'm getting back from happy hour. I feel like a little hot tub time. Boop, it'll be warm by the time you get to the house, right, and jump on in.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And, I mean, when you're rehabbing a house, let's say you have a pool, you got to think about things like this.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to, pay attention to what the market's doing and the upgrades and stuff like that. Oh, I got a pool, but the equipment's okay. I'm just going to change the filter. It just needs a filter change.
Yeah.
But you've got outdated equipment. Somebody comes in there and looks at it and says, well, hell, I'm selling a house that's got better equipment than this.
That's right. That's right.
You've got to pay attention to.
Yeah,
stuff
you
like
do.
That.
I was chatting with one of our brokers the other day, and he said, the houses at the median home around the median home price are moving, but he said stuff above 800,000 to $1 million isn't really. It's doing okay, but it's not. It's not screaming like it was like it was a couple months ago. Yeah. So when you look at doing these higher end properties, that pool better be on point.
Oh,
that yard better be on point too, right?
Well, the fact that the whole house needs to be digital.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, the whole house needs to be completely digital. You tell Alexa to turn on the living room TV.
That's right.
She's going to do it.
Oh, I'm doing, and this is probably the most between what I'm going to do the backyard and the pool, and I'm putting in a whole house audio system. So when you walk into each, and it'll be multi-channel. So if you're watching the game in the living room, it'll pump it out to every single room in the house, including outside. But then you can also select different sources.
You're doing Sonos?
It's not Sonos. This is a hardwired system.
Oh, it is?
It's going to be incredible.
I love Sonos, though.
Yeah, it is nice.
Have you tried them?
I have. They are super nice.
My whole house is Sonos.
Yeah.
I mean, it's most people they've got their favorites. I mean, some people complain about them, some people don't. I mean, the good thing about Sonos is that they've got portable stuff now, and those things sound amazing.
Yeah, they're. I think I'm going to go with a Sonos in where I'm going to have the home theater in the living room. I love that sub. That's the way that sub is designed. It's cool.
Yeah, it's so cool.
And it's when you see it in pictures, you're like, I wonder how cool. And then you look at it in person because it's so big, right? And you're like, that's pretty awesome looking.
But it sounds amazing.
Oh yeah,
it does.
So I think the home theater will be a little Sonos system, but the rest of the house is all hardwired, and it's all going to be, of course, up at the ceiling and in the wall. Like you're going to walk in, you're not going to see where the speakers are at because everything's painted to match.
Yeah,
it's going to be. I can't wait.
Yeah, I have Sonos in my living room. The only thing that I would change is have them mounted, but my wife's like, "You're not mounting." No,
you need to bring
you're not doing that.
Well, half the house is hers, right? So it's like, I'm not going to lose.
I'd say the whole house is hers. I got this little shed in the backyard where I keep all my old military stuff, and I lock it because I may go on a hunting trip and come back and it's gone.
Like, where'd all that stuff go?
She's like, "Oh no, somebody stole it."
Somebody. And cleaned it out at the same time.
Cleaned it out, and it's just. I'm sorry, Rob, and I would.
Babe, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. I was out with the kids. Just something crazy. I don't know.
That's the only thing that I hang on to. And she's like, I don't know why you're hanging on to this. I was like, because it's 21 years of memories.
Yeah.
She's like, but it's just in boxes. I was like, well, one day I'll open it up and look at it and be like, hey,
show the kids, hey, this is what Dad used to do, and all that kind of stuff, right? So, yeah, it's it's funny is I'm literally, I was telling you before the show, right? I've been homeless for like a year and a half as we're building houses and all this other stuff. And so some of my stuff I haven't even seen. So it's going to be interesting when I finally move in. I'm like, I didn't need all this stuff for almost 2 years. Like, what do I have it for?
Yeah.
All right. When we get back from the break, we'll talk more with Rob Trigg. This is Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network.